Welcome back to another video. So if you have watched last week's video, you will know that this week is week 5 of the block, which is the heaviest week, and training has been going really well. This entire block has been great. Last week's numbers definitely showed that I was on track for some good PBs this week. So I think what we should just do is dive in and take a look at how the week has gone. So I'm only going to show my 2 main sessions, which is Wednesday's SBD and Saturday's squat and bench. Just a note, on the Wednesday I was in Newcastle, so I had to travel up there, so diet has not been great this week, but training doesn't seem to really have been affected by it, so I'm really happy about that. And also being stuck in a car for 6 hours on the way to Newcastle and then on the way home wasn't great for my back and things either. But not to dive into too much of that, let's take a look at Wednesday's session, which I did at Vision Gym in Newcastle, which was an amazing gym. Got to use all comp kit, so let's have a look at how that went.
Since some losses through the process had me furious, but I got eyes on the vision, can't get delirious. Fall in love with the game and then you marry it. I think I married it. This the anthem. If you rockin' with it, put your hands up. Yeah, this the anthem. If you get up and get it, put your hands up. Yeah, this one for the winners if you with me. Yeah, hands up in the sky if you feel me. Yeah, this one for the winners if you with me. Yeah, hands up in the sky if you feel me. Yeah. It's the anthem. If I give you my word, that's what I stand on. Loyalty and trust is what I stand on. Family and love is what I stand on. If it's love, I got it tatted. Father, I'm not absent. I was working smarter back when they was working backwards. Do it for the gram, you only do it for a caption. Dropping back to back, but really I've been relaxing. I might go for months, I could go for years. If I take a break, I promise I'll be relapsing. Started from the mud, I just need attraction. Started with a buck, now I tell the label match it. Yeah, I've been my own boss. I took that leap of faith, yeah, I really dove off. Nothing I need to say, I let the work show off. For my kids, I go hard, gotta go hard. This the anthem. If you rockin' with it, put your hands up. Yeah, this the anthem. If you get up and get it, put your hands up. Yeah, this one for the winners if you with me. Yeah, hands up in the sky if you feel me. Yeah, this one for the winners if you with me. Yeah, hands up in the sky if you feel me. Yeah. With it, put your hands up. This the anthem. If you get up and get it, put your hands up. This the anthem. If you rockin' with it, put your hands up. Yeah, this the anthem. If you get up and get it, put your hands up. Yeah, this one for the winners if you with me. Yeah, hands up in the sky if you feel me. Yeah, this one for the winners if you with me. Yeah, hands up in the sky if you feel me. Yeah. It's the anthem. If I give you my word, that's what I stand on. Loyalty and trust is what I stand on. Family and love is what I stand on. Talking big. I knew that one day that I could make it big. I'm talking how to stay smoking without a sensei. Now we get up and do it like we got a big rig. It's getting serious, I know you're curious. Took some losses through the process had me furious, but I got eyes on the vision, can't get delirious. Fall in love with the game and then you marry it. I think I married it. This the anthem. If you rockin' with it, put your hands up. Yeah, this the anthem. If you get up and get it, put your hands up. Yeah, this one for the winners if you with me. Yeah, hands up in the sky if you feel me. Yeah, this one for the winners if you with me. Yeah, hands up in the sky if you feel me. Yeah, it's the anthem. If I give you my word, that's what I stand on. Loyalty and trust is what I stand on. Family and love is what I stand on. If it's love, I got it tatted. Father, I'm not absent. I was working smarter back when they was working backwards. Do it for the gram, you only do it for a caption. Dropping back to back, but really I've been relaxing. I might go for months, I could go for years. If I take a break, I promise I'll be relapsing. Started from the mud, I just need attraction. Started with a buck, now I tell the label match it. Yeah, I've been my own boss. I took that leap of faith, yeah, I really dove off. Nothing I need to say, I let the work show off. For my kids, I go hard, gotta go hard. This the anthem. If you rockin' with it, put your hands up. Yeah, this the anthem. If you get up and get it, put your hands up. Yeah.
So I have very mixed feelings over this Wednesday session. Squats were brilliant. So after driving to Newcastle the day before, my lower back was pretty tight. There was no sign of any injury or issues, it was just tight. So I just made sure to spend a little bit more time kind of moving around, warming up. But squats moved incredibly well. I couldn't have asked for more, especially because I didn't feel particularly great that day. So I managed to do 145 for a set of 7, which I'm pretty sure is a PB, and it has definitely never moved at about an RP7 like it did on Wednesday. So squats were an incredible highlight of that session. I mean, I've said every video, I think squats feel incredible right now. So I was really happy with squats. Then moving on to bench, things didn't feel incredible, and I do just think changing the bench that you use, it does take time to adjust, especially with the way I set up and my technique. I do need to consistently use the same bench to kind of get the best out of my bench, if that makes sense. I'm not making excuses for it, but that is kind of how I feel when it comes to bench, and I think a lot of people have a similar experience. But I still managed 107 with a long pause. I wanted it to be 3 count, but it wasn't. And you may have noticed as well, my butt did consistently come up on, I think, the majority of my reps. I don't even know, but it is something I've struggled with since my back flare originally happened. And that's just because, and I've definitely addressed this before, I have to tuck my lower back to keep my butt down. And while my lower back hasn't been fully healthy, or I haven't been sure if it's fully recovered, it's just not something I've been willing to do, just in case it causes more niggles or tightness or issues. And especially on this Wednesday when I have primary deadlifts after, and on this day in particular, the final week session for deadlifts of the block, I knew I had to deadlift heavy after, so I wasn't too upset that my butt wasn't staying down. It's something I was willing to sacrifice for the sake of being able to deadlift and keep healthy. But then deadlifts came around and I was not able to keep healthy. So I did my 160 for 5. Warm-ups felt brilliant. There was no, I don't think I'm supposed to use talc in that gym. I didn't ask, but I didn't see anyone else with any talc. I just decided not to bother and I thought it'd be fine. And I don't think it was the fact I didn't use talc that caused the problem at all. But my first 4 reps felt incredible on the 160. Went into the 5th, and I will just play the clip over now as well, and you'll see the weight does shift on my 5th rep as it leaves the floor, which already put me in a worse position. And then with the bar getting caught on my thighs at lockout, I should have just stopped when it shifted off the floor, in all honesty, but I was being stubborn. I convinced myself that I was healthy enough to just grind through it, and I wasn't. And I knew before I even put the bar down that my back had flared up again. So I didn't do any more deadlifts. I called it there. I mean, it was still a PB. I don't think I've ever done 160 for more than 4 reps. And obviously I know I didn't complete the 5th rep, but I genuinely think if I was healthy and had just taken my time a bit more with that final rep, I would have got it. So I'm not too upset. All I did after was just focus on some mobility work that I know relieves some of the stress in my lower back when it goes. And I just focused on rehabbing it after that. But because I had to drive home from Newcastle on the Thursday, so the next day, that was 6 hours again in the car, and it just felt so uncomfortable and so painful. So it's definitely not as bad as the first time it went in my prep for the Manchester Open, but it's still not great. But it's fine. I carried on the week. I did a lot more rehab when I got home. I made sure to keep it moving as much as I could while I was away and when I got home. The pain is definitely starting to ease off. It is now Monday, so I'm not back to 100%, but it is easing off. So we'll take a look at Saturday's session. Just notes with my lower back and that session. So it did still hurt going into that session. I was confident I'd still be able to squat, and I was able to, because when it first happened, I could still squat absolutely fine. Bench, I could not bench with my feet down. You will see, and I'll put in the clips of me trying to. I worked up to 100 and I had to just stop. So I just did my feet up sets. I didn't even do my Larsen because I just could not set up without pain, and it just wasn't worth it at that point. It's the last session of the block. Might as well just do my feet up and then call it, which is exactly what I did. So I'll put the clips in from what I did do that session, and then I'll do a very brief recap after, mostly just talking about how squats went.
Hands up in the sky, if you feel me, yeah. It's the anthem. If I give you my word, that's what I stand on. Loyalty and trust is what I stand on. Family and love is what I stand on. If it's love, I got it tatted. Father, I'm not absent. I was working smarter back when they was working backwards. Do it for the gram, you only do it for a caption. Dropping back to back, but really I've been relaxing. I might go for months, I could go for years. If I take a break, I promise I'll be relapsing. Started from the mud, I just need attraction. Started with a buck, now I tell the label match it. Yeah, I've been my own boss. I took that leap of faith, yeah, I really dove off. Nothing I need to say, I let the work show off. For my kids, I go hard, gotta go hard. This the anthem. If you rockin' with it, put your hands up. Yeah, this the anthem. If you get up and get it, If you rockin' with it, put your hands up. This the anthem. If you get up and get it, put your hands up. This the anthem. If you rockin' with it, put your hands up. Yeah, this the anthem. If you get up and get it, put your hands up. Yeah, this one for the winners if you with me. Yeah. Hands up in the sky if you feel me. Yeah, this one for the winners if you with me. Yeah. Hands up in the sky if you feel me. Yeah. It's the anthem. If I give you my word, that's what I stand on. Loyalty and trust is what I stand on. Family and love is what I stand on. Talking big, big. I knew that one day that I could make it big, big. I'm talking how to stay smoking without a sissy. Now we get up and do it like we got a big rig. It's getting serious, I know you're curious. Took some losses through the process, had me furious. But I got eyes on the vision, can't get delirious. Fall in love with the game and then you marry it. I think I married it. This the anthem. If you rockin' with it, put your hands up. Yeah, this the anthem. If you get up and get it, put your hands up. Yeah, this one for the winners if you with me. Yeah, hands up in the sky if you feel me. Yeah, this one for the winners if you with me. Yeah, hands up in the sky if you feel me. Yeah, it's the anthem. If I give you my word, that's what I stand on. Loyalty and trust is what I stand on. Family and love is what I stand on. If it's love, I got it tatted. Father, I'm not absent. I was working smarter back when they was working backwards. Do it for the Grammy, only do it for a caption. Dropping back to back, but really I've been relaxing. I might go for months, I could go for years. If I take a break, I promise I'll be relapsing. Started from the mud, I just need attraction. Started with a buck, now I tell the label match it. Yeah, I've been my own boss. I took that leap of faith, yeah, I really dove off. Nothing I need to say, I let the work show off. For my kids, I go hard, gotta go hard. This the anthem.
Okay, so I'm not really going to bother addressing bench. It is what it is. I had to adjust on the day for the pain. It just is what it is. I can't change anything. If I'm in pain, I'm not going to make it worse. I bench with my feet down. I couldn't physically set up. It was too painful. So let's talk about squats. They were so good. I have no words. They moved better than planned. I mean, my top set of 5 did not move as well as planned, but in all honesty, I wasn't in the right mindset to squat heavy anyway. Like, it's annoying that was my kind of last heavy of the training block, because mentally, normally for that last heavy week, I'm so excited, I'm ready to go, and I'm ready to push myself, but I just did not feel like that for this session. I think because I was just so conscious of my back, I just wasn't mentally prepared to really work. But I still obviously loaded what I planned to. I loaded what the goal was. Like, the goal at the start of this block was 155 for 5. And I got 155 for 5. And I am happy with it. I would say it was probably about an RP9, which is higher than I wanted it to be. But honestly, I think most of that is just down to the fact that mentally, it got to, I think, rep 3. And I was like, oh, these are moving okay. But I don't know that I've got 2 more. And if you tell yourself you don't know that you've got 2 more, they're not going to go how they're supposed to. Normally at that point, I would say, right, just 2 more to go. You've got it. But this day I just had more self-doubt than anything else, and self-doubt will always limit our progress and our success in what we do. So that top set of 5 did not move how I wanted it to, but it was still a PB and I'm still happy with it. I'm not going to complain. My back had no pain when I was doing it. I know I can still squat, so I'm happy. The highlight of the session was the 170 fatigue single. That's 2.5 below my best ever squat, and it moved so well. I went into that top single expecting it to be a grind. I expected it to be about as slow as the last rep of my 155 for 5. I was actually contemplating not loading 170 because I basically set the goal at the start of the training block. I wanted to do 155 for a set of 5 for a PB, and I wanted to follow it with a single at 170. I didn't know how realistic that goal was. I didn't know how I was going to respond to these fatigue singles, but I had that goal in my mind, and the day got there and I decided I was just going to go for it. I knew they weren't causing me any back pain, and I knew I didn't feel 100% fresh, but I also knew I had to try. So I loaded the 170. I tried to get myself, I don't want to say hyped up, I'm not a hyped lifter, but I tried to really zone in and focus as much as I possibly could. And I walked it out. I caught the resistance band that my dad had left hanging on the rack during the walkout, which threw me off in itself. And then it didn't feel too heavy on my back, to be fair. It just felt like I'd expect it to. And yeah, I just started the rep. And even on the way down, I expected it to be the grind of my life on the way back up. but it just flew up. Like you can see in my face, I was shocked as it came back up. So squats were definitely the highlight. My max is definitely not 172 anymore. And in terms of squats and my progress going forward, I'm incredibly excited for the next few blocks. And for competitions next, like just for everything. Like squats are coming back to the level I know they can be, and it's so exciting. Bench is there. I just need to get my back better, and in the next video I'll address the changes I'm making in the new block. Obviously I already had a plan of what I was going to do in the next block. Like I've planned this whole training cycle out, but I'm just going to have to adjust for my lower back, and that will probably include bringing sumo back. It will potentially include removing conventional for at least one training block while I get fully healthy again. I'm going to decide that and sit down and kind of plan things depending on how pain feels tomorrow, before I start training again the next day on Wednesday. So overall though, to finish off the block, I've got a PB on deadlift, if you can really count it. I'm going to count it anyway. I got PBs on squats on both days, and bench, I'm still consistently hitting 110, and it's getting better and better and better every block. Obviously I couldn't hit it this week, but I hit it last week and it moved so quickly. So I know that I'm on track for PBs on all three, and there's nothing for me to be upset about. I just need to get my back healthy and keep on top of that. So that's going to wrap up this video. I hope you have enjoyed it. I will see you next week for the next one, and where I say I will break down what I'm doing to adjust for my back. But if you've liked this video, please like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you next week for the next one.
You my word, that's what I stand on. Loyalty and trust is what I stand on. Family and love is what I stand on.